Beam City Sports back at you with another episode here in Sacramento, California. It's your boy Luke Mitchell on the mic. Also, I got Alec, Dennett, and Tyler Texeira. Today we got a hot episode. We got a few subjects we can get into. How we feeling, boys?
Feeling good. Another week, another episode. Glad to be back. I hope everyone's enjoying the Thanksgiving week. Tyler, how you feeling?
Feeling all right. Got some mouth pain, had some dental surgery, but, I'm going to take a back seat today. Let you guys do most of the talking, but happy to be here. Another good week on Beam City Sports.
We're feeling good. Hope you guys are doing good, Sacramento. This week, we got a good, exciting episode talking about Jae Crowder coming to the Kings after losing 4 in a row right now. So hopefully he had some depth for us. Then we're also talking about the biggest surprises of the league. Right now, everything the league is kind of not going expected the way that a lot of people thought. So we're going to be getting into that. But I'm going to start off hot with Mitchell's Man of the Week. I got James Harden from the Los Angeles Clippers, Man of the Week. He's averaging 21 points a game, 5 rebounds, 8 assists over the last 3 games. That's pretty much his season stats, too. But he came into Sacramento a few games ago, hit some big shots against us in the big moments and kind of kept their momentum up and ran away with that game. A lot of people kind of sleeping on them right now. They're kind of a dark horse, I think, in the league. And then he's also stepping up with Norman Powell. Norman Powell's averaging 23 points a game, which is something nobody else saw in the league. And then Kawhi Leonard. If Kawhi Leonard comes back, it's going to be dangerous. Nobody expects him to come back healthy, but that's going to be dangerous.
I don't even know if he's going to play for real, but James Harden, he's been doing his thing, and I think Norman Powell's been out the past, couple games.
But they're still winning.
Yeah.
Clippers are still winning, which is a big thing.
So, James Harden has been doing his thing, and like you kind of mentioned, he's just kind of been overlooked this year. I feel like James Harden, he's kind of accepted the role, but he's still averaging really great numbers like you mentioned, and, he's just doing what he has to do for that Clippers team. He's being a real great playmaker for all those young guys. And then, he's still getting his buckets when he has to. So, he's looking good.
A little bit of, young James Harden coming back. He's hitting those step backs again, the double cross, and then back. It's pretty great to see. It reminds me of the OKC days of him.
Yeah, I agree. I love that Mitchell's Man of the Week. James Harden, proven that he still is a system on the offensive end. He said it coming into the year. They asked him how he's going to feel playing without Kawhi Leonard. He said, I am the system.
Yep.
So he's proven it, and, like you said, it looks like the old James Harden, not putting up 35 a game, but around 23 a game, so a lot of assists, still getting the rebounds up. So this Clippers team, I was sleeping on them. I think I had them 13th in the conference on my predictions before the year, and they're top 5 right now. So shout out to the Clippers.
I think I had them right down with you. I had them down there, the 13 or 14 seed with the Jazz, but they're surprising everybody. I really like it.
They've beaten some good teams, too, as well. They've beaten the Warriors twice, who's, they've beat almost everyone they've played so far this year. They beat the Kings. Obviously, they played a lot of other good teams and won a lot of those games. So Clippers they have a great defense as well, like Chris Dunn, Amir Coffey, all those role players are stepping up, and that's a product of James Harden, letting him lead the way, and it's looking good out there in L.A.
Definitely. I like that L.A. team way better than the other one.
Also, shout out to the Intuit Dome. They put up Alec's jersey in the Intuit Dome, his high school jersey, Del Campo.
No way.
His jersey, number 1, Del Campo, in the Intuit Dome. So he's a part of history.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Our boy Parker went to a Clippers game. I forget which game it was. I think against the Kings probably. And then, he was just walking around. He showed me via Instagram, took a picture of it. And so it's definitely cool to see because the Intuit Dome, what they did is, they just asked every high school in California for a jersey.
What?
Yeah.
And your jersey's up there?
Yeah, our coach texted me and he was like, "Hey, this is what they're doing. I'm gonna give them your jersey." I was like, "Oh, hey, that's
pretty awesome. That's pretty sick."
That's
our
pretty
boy
awesome.
Alec Dennett, piece of history in the new Intuit Dome.
Yeah, love to see it.
And then right now we're moving on to Ty's Take of the Week.
Ty's Take of the Week. Yeah, it could go a few different ways here. But I'm gonna stick with our Sacramento Kings.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it here in Sac. We've lost 4 in a row. A lot of people are coming for Mike Brown's head on every social media platform. Everyone is blaming our struggles on Mike Brown. And I have to say, my take of the week is that I don't think the Kings' struggles are Mike Brown's fault.
No.
I think he's playing the guys that, deserve to play. He's trying new things out, playing guys like Kobe Jones, Isaac Jones, guys that, young guys that are not getting minutes, but the people that he's playing are just not producing. He's switching up the starting lineup, now putting Keon Ellis out there as well. Kevin Huerter's not producing like we thought he would. He started the year off pretty hot, and now he's really cooling off. But the only thing I can say about Mike Brown is he needs to adjust our defense. We're allowing way too many threes. and not shooting the 3-ball well. So
The hands up.
Hands
we're,
up.
We're closing
Yeah.
out with our hands down right now. If you notice that, everybody's running out there with their hands down. Put the hand up immediately.
yeah,
It's he was talking about it last night in the interview, and it's pretty clear and obvious. Every single game, we're not closing out like strong defensively out on the perimeter, especially.
yeah,
I mean, I agree with your take. You know, the Kings. It's honestly, it's early. I mean, there's really no reason to panic. You know, I mean, we're 8-9, 8-10 now.
8-10, yeah.
I mean, the West is just so tough, and you know, we've played a lot of the teams in the West. I feel like once we go on a road trip where we're playing a bunch of these teams out east, where you know almost all of them are under 500. I mean, yeah, we might lose a couple games out there, but it's just a long season. The Kings, honestly, their real problem is shooting, and I think over time they'll be able to fix that.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
I don't think everyone should be panicking. I don't think we should be blaming Mike Brown. You know, I just think it's really early. They're just having a slow start. They'll, you know, come mid-season, come, you know, All-Star break, they'll be in good shape.
Yeah. You know, I agree because Mike Brown, I think he's playing the right way. I think he's getting De'Aaron the ball in his spots that he needs to. DeMar has the ball whenever he wants, getting to that mid-range when he is healthy. Mike Brown can't force the threes to go in. Like you said, that they're just not hitting shots.
Yep.
It is kind of scary, though, because the Kings have had the third easiest schedule so far this year. And now coming up, they're going to have
It's
the
gonna be
toughest schedule.
Toughest schedule
So,
coming up.
Real test coming up in Sacramento. We've lost 4 in a row. But like you mentioned, we signed Jae Crowder. So
Jae Crowder coming
hopefully
in.
that could bring some toughness to this team. I think we
Exactly.
really need that. We're one of the softest teams in the league, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Is we go up scared a lot.
Yeah.
Like Domas is not being as big bodied as he was last year, and then De'Aaron is. I feel like he's getting to his shots. Like you said, Mike Brown is putting him in the right spot. They're running the right plays, but then De'Aaron passes up on a lot of shots that I think he should be taking. He passes it to DeMar really quick. He kicks it out, or he tries to throw it to Domas and he tries to force it in. But I noticed with Domas last game, he couldn't move anybody down low. He was going super soft. He was up high, wasn't able to dig down low. He was getting killed. But no, yeah, I do agree with the take that Mike Brown shouldn't be
Yeah.
on the chopping block. There's no way. And then Keegan Murray is the big thing for me. Keegan's I think he should have been close to 20 points a game right now.
Yeah, one thing I just want to add about the Sabonis thing you were saying. I don't know. I feel like people who haven't figured it out already are starting to is he literally does not have a right hand.
He's
and
been
so-
saying that.
Yep.
And so, you know, like you're saying, he's bodying, but he's always trying to go left.
He's trying to go left.
And then he spins right, and, you know, the help side's right there, you
Yep.
know, because, you know, that game, I forget who it was who came over to help but blocked his shot. And he just never turns right.
He can't get it up there. He goes up. And he can't draw the fouls up there.
Yeah.
If you can't make it with your right hand, at least try and draw the foul with your right hand.
Yeah.
Like you got to get to the line somehow.
And
if you're
he's
not
he's
doing
playing way too passive as well. Like last game, that was a good point you made. They played the Oklahoma City Thunder, who only had one center, Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yep.
And at one point in the game, he got hit in the face by Sabonis, had to go out and get stitches. So they were playing Kenrich Williams at center, who's about 6'6". And Domas is still not being aggressive. He's still playing so passive. And honestly, every NBA team now knows what the Kings are trying to do on the offensive end.
Yep.
They're giving the ball to Sabonis up top. He's going to fake that handoff to everyone that's not named De'Aaron Fox or DeMar DeRozan or sometimes Malik Monk. But he's faking that handoff to Colby Jones every time. Teams aren't respecting it.
Yeah.
They know he's not trying to give the ball to Colby Jones or, you know, other guys like even Keon Ellis, who I've loved how Keon's been playing.
He's been stepping up a lot.
But
he's been hitting
yeah.
his shots.
But teams are playing under on it, and they know Sabonis is not going to be aggressive, and they're just doubling up on Fox and DeMar, making it tougher on them. They're still getting their numbers, but
Yep.
it's not leading to wins. So got to switch it up.
Well,
Gotta
yeah,
switch it up.
like you mentioned, that game against the Thunder, DeRozan had 30, Sabonis 21, Keegan, De'Aaron, and Malik, they all had 14. And, you know, everyone else just, you know, wasn't able to produce.
Yeah, our bench doesn't go as deep as we need it to right now.
Yeah.
I think adding Jae Crowder, that's definitely going to help a lot. He's not going to produce all the numbers, I think, that he used to get. Like in Boston, he averaged like 14 points a
Yeah.
game. And he didn't really help much in the Bucks team in 2020. But I think he's going to help us at least not spread the floor a bit more, but he's going to be able to get down low quick, I think. He's going to be big body, and I think he's going to help out a lot.
One thing I like about Jae Crowder is, I mean, he's still able to shoot the 3-ball.
That
And
too.
so, you
That
know,
too.
for him to come off the bench, I mean, like you said, if he's not going to give us like 10, 12, 14 off the bench, as long as he's getting, maybe 6 to 8 or 9, just 3 threes a game off the bench.
That'd be amazing.
Because he plays great defense, like you're saying. He's a physical guy. He's literally a bigger Patrick Beverly. One of those guys that's gonna give it all out there. Hustle. Do all those hustle plays. Give you all that. He's a great rebounder. So, I mean, it's definitely gonna be something that the Kings would need off the bench, like a real spark. But in terms of scoring, I mean, it's really just like Malik off the bench and sometimes Trey Lyles. But
part of me, I could see Jae Crowder starting just because Trey Lyles was starting a few times, and I think Jae Crowder will fill in that spot maybe once or twice.
If he's available tonight against the Timberwolves, do you think they might just throw him into the starting lineup?
No, I don't think
that would be a little disrespectful to some other guys that have
would
been
be
working
really
hard.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
But with how long Trey Lyles is going to be out, we're going to need that
Yeah.
kind of player right there.
Yeah, and a guy like Doug McDermott, who we picked up off the bench, I really wish he was hitting his shots because that would be so big for this team. I could see him playing 20 minutes a game if he's hitting his threes like we know he can, but he's just I feel like I've seen him make 2 threes all year. Like I feel like he's not making anything. And he's shooting them every time he gets in. It's not like he's being hesitant. He's shooting it, but
getting wide open.
Yeah.
He's getting wide open.
Yeah. Well, Jae Crowder also is a winner, so that's why I'm very excited to have him on the Sacramento Kings because, he went to the finals. He was in the finals with Miami in the bubble, and then he went to Milwaukee. Then he went to Phoenix. Yeah.
And then, it's kind of weird because he tried signing with the Suns just again, and then I think the Bucks, they were trying to work some deal out, and then out of nowhere he comes to Sacramento.
Yeah.
Kind of not out of nowhere. He had to work out a little bit earlier this season.
Yeah, in the summer, I feel like we talked about him on the show before, about him potentially coming to Sacramento. Yeah.
I feel like he came in, and I don't think we offered him a contract, and I think he went out and tried to go elsewhere, but I think he called us up recently, and I bet they worked some sort of deal, which I'm a big fan of. I'm looking forward to seeing him here. Another vet that has been around the league a lot. So I think he's going to come in and help off the bench.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Tyler, I mean, he's been a part of, really great teams that have, won. And so he knows what it takes to get there. He's been around great coaches, great players. And for him to be around, Sabonis, De'Aaron, and DeRozan, because DeRozan's also a veteran who's been there. And so for him to be around those type of guys and kind of just bring a different perspective to what the Kings are looking for, I think that will be good for them. And especially even, at the start, if he's not getting a lot of playing time, just for him to be around these guys and kind of, bring a different energy might even kind of spark the Kings in a different way that they might they might need.
Maybe it'll toughen Keegan up a little bit as well. You know, I need some toughness on this team.
Yeah.
And the only 2 guys who I really notice that have a spark under them and are playing tough and not soft is De'Aaron, Malik, and Keon.
Yeah.
Nobody else on this team is playing with any heart. DeRozan's getting his numbers, but it's like I don't see it producing to wins at all, and it's not igniting a fire under this team like I feel like it was earlier in the year. But Fox, Sabonis, and Malik will hold a team meeting before tonight's game against the Timberwolves. I like to see it.
Yeah,
the leadership.
They're the people who've been here the longest,
Yeah.
pretty much. So they need to kind of will the team that way and push them and back them to the win column. And especially on this tough road trip coming. It's not a long road trip, but it's a tough road trip.
Yeah.
We're going to be going back and forth a lot. So it's going to be a tired Kings team playing all these super tough teams that you expect to be in playoff contention right now. Like the Timberwolves are 8-9, not a team that I expected to be down this low.
But they beat the Kings when
and
we
they
were
beat
there.
the Kings twice this year already.
Hurts.
So let's actually
need the win tonight.
Need the win tonight.
But I want to ask you guys, what do you think the starting lineup will be tonight with DeMar out, Trey Lyles is out, so it's going to be De'Aaron, Keon earned his spot in the starting lineup, Keegan and Sabonis. Who's that 5th guy? Is it Malik? Is it Kevin Huerter back in the lineup? Is it a guy like Isaac Jones?
It's going to be a small lineup.
I think it's probably going to be Huerter.
Same. Yeah. I think it's going to be Huerter.
I think Huerter will probably be snuck in there. But it's going to be a small lineup, and I think that rotation is going to be quick. I don't think Huerter or Keon will be on the court for longer than, 6 minutes, 7 minutes in that first quarter. Yeah.
Well, this is the second game against Minnesota?
Third, because they played him opening night, and then they played him when we were there.
The NBA Cup
60
game.
for De'Aaron, and now playing him tonight.
And what are the Kings 0-2 against them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Both were in Sacramento as well, so now they're going to Minnesota. But the last game the Kings played, Thunder in Sacramento, It was 130 to 109. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was the story in this game. I always say that De'Aaron outplays Shea when they play against each other, and I was way off with this game.
This was not good.
It hurt. It hurt to watch this one. Shea was just absolutely cooking anyone that got put on him. Kevin Huerter in the third quarter was guarding him multiple plays in a row. Every single time, Shea was going right at him and scoring. So
I think this was the most threes Shea shot in a game this season, and he hit 3 of them, which is really annoying. And then Jalen Williams didn't hit 1 3 all game until the fourth quarter. He hits 3.
Wide open. And that was on De'Aaron because they had Keegan on Shea. De'Aaron's guarding J-Dub, and he keeps helping. And
there's no reason to help on these teams
reason.
right here. They're small enough to where if they go down, those Sabonis is there.
I'd rather them get a layup than a wide open 3.
Exactly.
That's the philosophy the Kings have to play
Work
with.
for an and one if they need to.
Yeah.
And that's also a big thing. We got in a lot of foul trouble in that third and fourth quarter right there. We went into the half, and I think it was only Keon and Huerter, I think, had 2 fouls on him, both of them. And then in the middle of the third, Malik already has 3, snap of a finger. De'Aaron has 4. Sabonis gets to 4. I think the refs were out for us for this game.
I feel like it's been like that every game. I don't know why we're not getting any respect for the whistle.
For the last 4 games.
Especially De'Aaron. I don't know what. Yeah.
One thing about De'Aaron, and I mean, just his aggressiveness on defense is, one thing you want to see because, I what I've noticed is he's always, pressuring who he's guarding or whoever it is, SGA or, this game, whoever he gets switched on to. But, he's always putting pressure on them. But sometimes, it's a little too aggressive and, he's reaching a lot. Sometimes they're not calling it, but a lot of the times, he's going to touch him a little bit or whatever the case may be.
Keon's the same way. Keon also is always reaching and getting those silly fouls at the half court line.
Yeah. And so, you like the aggressiveness, but sometimes, if you're Mike Brown, you got to tell him, hey, look, I like that you're taking this challenge and, trying to be our best defensive player, but, we also need you to not foul. So, hey, maybe not reach in certain scenarios, but, it's one or the other. As long as he's not fouling out, I mean, it's still at the end of the day, as long as the foul trouble's not too crazy.
Yeah. Last year, I mean, they're kind of running off like last year what they did because last year they had a lot of fast break points, and that's because they would poke the ball out when the guard's dribbling up, and they have a wide open court right there. And right now, it's just not working for us the way that it did last year.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to Shea just because there were so many fouls down low that he's just like hooking one of our arms, and he's just like, oh, that's a foul right there. Like,
he's one of the best at that.
He's one of the best, but NBA needs to do something about that kind of foul.
Yeah, I mean, he's top 3 in the league in free throws attempted, but De'Aaron's in the top 5, so I can't be that, mad. We were saying De'Aaron's not getting the whistle, but he's still top 5 in free throws.
Top 5.
But I have noticed the last 4 games that they've lost, he's really not getting the respect that he was. Remember in the Minnesota game we were at, he had like 12 free throws that game, and
13, I think, or something.
and he hit like 11 of them, so that was huge for us. But yeah, he only had 14 points, 5 of 14 from the field in this Thunder loss. Kevin Huerter, 0 points off the bench. Malik had 14, but he did leave the fourth quarter limping a little bit, a little scared about that, but hopefully he's okay.
I think he'll be fine. I'm pretty sure it's just a little, coming back after 2 weeks, and it's a fresh ankle injury. That's still going to be a little tender there.
Yeah. The game before that, the Kings played was the Brooklyn Nets coming to Sacramento, beating the Kings in a tough loss, 108 to 103. This was the first game the Kings wore their old jerseys with the old classic court. I like to see that. They also wore it the game against the Thunder. De'Aaron had a great game, 31 points, 3 of 4 from 3. Love to see that. 10 of 16 from the field. He was just the only one carrying the offense in this game.
Yeah, if that happens, then we're going to lose every time.
Every time.
Every time. We don't have, especially having DeMar only at 18 points when he's averaging 24.
Yeah.
And then Cam Thomas, my boy from last week.
You called it.
I called it.
You called it.
He's gonna stay hot.
He lit up the Kings, and then the next night he lit up the Warriors and beat them as well.
He's gonna stay hot. He's gonna be traded, I think. First of all,
you did say that too, and now he's in trade rumors. Because when you said that, I was a little like, I don't know if he'd be traded, but he's in trade rumors. So
because they're definitely gonna go a different way in the net with the Nets over there. They have Cam Johnson too, so that's a big one. But he killed us. He was pulling up every time he pulled up. I was like, oh. That's Curry. That's Curry right there.
He was absolutely cooking.
Not only just him, but some of those guys on the bench for them, they were looking really good. And at first I was kind of like, wait, who's this guy? But they did it. the Nets did it against the Kings, and then the next day they did it against the Warriors. Those same bench guys were just hitting all those threes, and
Noah
They had a
Clowney.
comeback against the Warriors.
Yeah.
It was pretty nuts.
They were down like 20.
20 at one point.
Yeah.
And then Steph subbed out, I think, for
Yeah.
like 5 minutes, and then bam, they come back like snap of a finger.
Yeah. The 3-point difference in this game was Brooklyn hit 19 threes, Kings hit 9. That's a 30-point difference right there.
It's been all
Just
season.
it's been all season.
All season for
Yeah.
us. And
Yeah.
the fact that we can keep games close like this without hitting over 10 threes, it's pretty insane. Getting down low and be able to make that bucket down low all the time. It also shows that we should be getting a lot more and ones and making those. But I see Domas the other day against the Thunder. This is 2 clutch free throws that kind of maybe could have kept us in.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and then the turnovers too. Turnovers are big against the Nets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keegan, I think he played a decent game. He had 21 points, 8 rebounds, but what's really killing us is that he's 1 of 5 from 3. And that's, we relied on Keegan in his rookie year. He set the rookie record for 3-pointers made in a year.
Yep.
And now he just can't make a 3. He's wide open in the corner, it seems like 3 times a game, and he misses every single shot. So it's hard to win when your guys aren't hitting threes and the other team just can't seem to miss. But a guy that I really liked in this game was KUBU Jones. I got into a big argument with somebody on Twitter about he had 0 points and played 17 minutes, but, I think he played great defense all night.
Did you see his plus minus?
His plus minus was minus 17, and that's what the guy came at me on Twitter about, because he was blaming Mike Brown and saying that I can't believe you're playing a G leaguer like KUBU Jones this many minutes, and how are we supposed to win if he's a minus 17? And I said it wasn't KUBU's fault they were a minus 17. They took De'Aaron out, and there was no offensive flow or rhythm. DeMar didn't have it going. Sabonis looks like he can't make any more shots, and he's not being aggressive. Keegan can't hit a 3, like I said. So I don't know how that's on KUBU Jones. I think he had a big chase down block.
Yep.
Also missed he got a steal and then missed a layup where he got fouled. The refs didn't call it. Mike Brown backed his player up and got a technical foul. So I like to see that from Mike Brown, backing his young guy up. Yeah.
Well, one thing I like about KUBU Jones is, and honestly Mike Brown too, he's playing KUBU Jones, Isaac Jones, he's just trying to look for something off the bench to get
have to try.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not a bad, because he was our pick.
Yeah.
He was our draft pick. And so, they sent him to the G League to develop, they thought he looked good enough to where he can get some, playing time in the NBA, and he's not doing bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not scoring the ball, which it could be a confidence thing there, but yeah, he's playing good defense, and plus minus is always kind of a flawed stat because one player could switch everyone's plus minus, and on the other hand, it's we look at one player, and for example KUBU Jones, like just because he got into the game, they didn't lose 17 points when he was in. Obviously it was rotations, and could have been the Nets were on a certain run during the time that he was in. All types of things are what make plus minus kind of flawed.
Like Tyler said, coming off the bench, having that defense side, and then he gives the breather for De'Aaron or Malik, just to get out for a couple minutes in those big closeout games right there, where De'Aaron could have saved us or DeMar could have saved us, but he comes in at the right time. He makes his minutes count for sure. That's why he stayed in for 17 minutes and had 0 points.
How tall is KUBU Jones?
It's probably like 6'2", maybe.
Yeah.
It's probably like my height, 6'2", 6'1".
Probably. Yeah.
So I noticed that they didn't even play Jordan McLaughlin, and usually he's their backup.
True.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
I would rather I would rather
Yeah.
I would rather have KUBU as your backup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, rather than Jordan.
Yeah.
He hasn't really provided anything, and I think Jordan McLaughlin's a smaller guy.
That's true.
KUBU Jones and Katie Christian said this, in the broadcast. I forget which play it was, but it was a fast break. Someone bumped KUBU, and they called the foul on him, but she was like, oh, he didn't even move.
Yeah.
And so he's a big guard. He might not be tall, but he's big and
plants himself.
And the refs do not give him any calls. That no call when Mike Brown got a technical was an obvious foul. Also, he got
and $35,000 down the drain.
Yeah, Mike Brown was heated on that. But then also on the offensive end, I feel like there was a couple times where KUBU, it looked like he got, or on the defensive end where it looked like he got a good stop, but the refs, called foul on him when he's getting the one bumped into. But But yeah, we got to go over one more game. Ugly loss on Friday in the NBA Cup at Clippers. Sorry, 104-88.
That was not fun.
This was one of the worst Kings games I feel like I've ever watched.
Yes.
And that's saying something.
Yeah.
That is saying something.
And going into the game, I was like, this is going to be a good game.
Yeah,
I didn't
same.
think we were going to blow them out.
I overlooked the Clippers. Like,
Yep.
James Harden was a
Yep.
great pick for your man of the week because he's killing.
Did it against us, but no. Fox had a great game, 29, 7 and 7, 50% shooting, but 1 for 7 from 3-point land.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, if he made a few more of those, he would have been 13 for 20.
Yeah.
Like, it's embarrassing when he puts up that many shots. But I mean, still scoring that many points down low, 29 points. DeRozan only 16 in his return back to LA. That's where it killed us, I think.
Yeah.
If DeMar was on his game, then I think we would have won this game.
Well, what I saw is Clippers bench had 39 points.
Clippers
And
bench killed us.
Kings bench only had 9 points.
9 points.
And so, I mean, that's 30-point difference right there.
Mhm.
On top of that, the Kings had 15 turnovers. And then, just nailing the coffin.
Yeah.
As a team, the Kings shot 38 from the field and 20 from three. So, I mean, they just couldn't shoot. They couldn't score. And, that's why I think they were held to, what you said it was 88 points. Like, that's really low.
Yeah, that's insanely low. You can't win a game scoring 88 points in today's NBA.
If you don't score 100 points in today's NBA, then you're just not an NBA team
Exactly,
right there.
that-
That's what the NBA is about right now. That's what they're pushing for, is score, score, score.
Jeff Teague said the same thing on his podcast. He was like, if you're an NBA team not scoring 100 points in like today's league, like you don't deserve to win. So
It's
it's tough. It's tough out here in Sacramento. Hopefully Jae Crowder brings some answers. But this is Beam City Sports, and we're gonna rep our Kings ride or die. So
Yes.
let's get back on
and
track.
we're also going to talk crap about them.
Yeah.
We need to.
Yeah,
Hopefully they're listening, and this gives them a little kick in the butt. Man.
yeah.
Something.
Well,
This is Beam City Sports.
Yep.
Thanks for listening. Like, share, subscribe. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Appreciate you. Welcome back to the episode of Beam City Sports right here. This is episode 22. Thank you for listening on the radio, KUBU 96.5. If you haven't, go over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We post this every Thursday. Also clips now. We have some clips coming out. Let's get some comments on there. We want to hear from you guys, hear from the fans. We're coming back into it right now. We're going to come back with the ICU segment right here. For me, I'm starting off hot with Bennett Mathurin from the Indiana Pacers. He's averaging 18 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, respectively on 50% shooting. He has a clean jumper, goes up easy, goes down immediately. Nobody can really block it, I think. I mean, he has a high shot, and it's quick. But the other day, I think it was like 2 games ago, it was your guys Bilal Coulibaly. He was going up for a block on him, but then Benedict windmill slam right under. That was one of the cleanest dunks I've ever seen, not going to lie.
Yeah.
Went up quick and then just in the middle of the air, just, oh, he's going to block that. I'm just going to go
So smooth.
under.
I couldn't believe he did that.
And then earlier this month, he had dropped like a 40-point game, I think.
Yeah.
Went off. But no, I'm a big fan of him.
Same here. Same here.
I like his the trio between him, Tyrese, and Pascal Siakam out there.
Yeah.
I wish they were doing better right now.
Yeah.
Because that's a team that I was kind of buying in for.
Yeah.
I love Tyrese still.
Same, yeah.
But no, that play right there, if you guys got a chance, look up that clip from Bennett Mathurin, that dunk. It was clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been having a great year this year. Yeah, I mean, the Pacers have been struggling. I mean, especially Halliburton, but, just recently he had a really great game. So hopefully they pick it up. And I think Ben Mathurin has been a big part of, their success, even when, the rest of the team has been struggling, because he's looked extremely great to start the year.
Yep.
And, yeah, I mean, I've liked him from the jump.
I want to see him put on some more muscle, because if he puts on more muscle, he would be like kind of a Westbrook type player, but a better shooting percentage. I would love to see him if he gets like stronger and can go down the lane even stronger.
Yeah, I like that pick. The Pacers wanted to bring him off the bench, like a couple of years ago or last year when he was healthy. They had him as a 6-man type of guy, just get your buckets off the bench, but he's played so good this year and the Pacers aren't winning. You have to start him. You have to play him as many minutes as you can, because he's honestly probably their best or second best scorer.
I think he's their best scorer.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton's not scoring the ball. He's scoring, but I think Benedict Mathurin's more dynamic.
They only have one player scoring 20 points a game, and that's Pascal.
Yeah.
Everybody else is below 20.
All right, Alec.
Alec, who's your ICU?
So I'm gonna rock with Jalen Johnson from the Atlanta Hawks. Now the Hawks
I don't
have been
like that name right
struggling.
now.
Hawks have been struggling, but Jalen Johnson in his last 3 games, he had 15 points with 14 rebounds. He had 25 points with 13 rebounds, and then 28 points with 11 rebounds. He's just had a great year so far. On the year, he's averaging 19.9 points with 10.4 rebounds and 5 assists. So, I mean, for him, he's been a great bright spot with Trey and, Dyson Daniels, who's been, their real main defensive guy. Jalen Johnson, he's got great size. He's really athletic. He loves to attack downhill. He's got a sneaky jump shot, and he's a sneaky good playmaker too. Watching some of his games, the way that he just moves the ball and gets some of his guys open.
Yeah.
It looks really great. And for most people, they kind of just see some of his poster dunks and just think, oh, he's just this role player. But he's stepped it up for the Hawks this year, especially with Trae Young. Trae Young hasn't been scoring all that great, but he's been getting tons and tons of assists.
Yeah.
I think he's the league leader in assists right now.
Yeah.
And so he's just been great for Atlanta.
Yeah, against the, talking about Trae Young's assists, he had like 6 points against us, but then like 19 assists. Yeah, and then against the Kings, again, Jalen Johnson coming up with the big defensive play at the end. I still think it was a foul, and then he stepped out of bounds. But I do like the pick. I like Jalen Johnson. I like his, he's stepping up into a role that they definitely need over there in Atlanta. Kind of a new, it's a developing team, kind of a rebuilding team that they're trying to build around Trey. But I like that pick. I like Jalen.
Yeah, I see him being a future All-Star. Honestly, I've always been high on Jalen Johnson's game. But he's stepping up to another level. He's a 3-level scorer, also plays good defense, and he's an underrated playmaker. So I love that pick from out in Atlanta. But my pick for ICU this week is someone who was a free agent about a week ago. Hasn't played in a game since 2021-2022 season. It is Elfrid Payton from the New Orleans Pelicans. He just got signed but put in the starting lineup right away. He scored 14 points and had 21 assists against the Pacers the other night. So shout out to Elfrid Payton, man. He was out of the league for so long, and the Pelicans are just so injured this year. Like one of the most injured teams we've ever seen in the NBA. And they signed Elfrid Payton just to get some more bodies out there, and he's running the show already. 21 assists in a game is obviously the most we've seen this year, but. So shout out to Elfrid Payton.
I love that. Elfrid Payton, that's someone I like. When I was playing 2K with you years ago, I would always have Elfrid Payton on my bench
solid.
on the squad.
Yeah, I always like to think, because he's always been known as a playmaker. I feel like he's never really like that really great scorer because he's gotten triple doubles.
Oh yeah.
And for the Pelicans, he's just been a great pickup. And even with that team where, they just have a lot of young guys because they're so hurt, he's just looked, the facilitator, he's getting everybody involved.
Yeah.
And 21 assists is just outrageous, honestly. You don't see that anymore.
I could see him
ever
staying with the starting lineup even when everybody else is healthy.
I could too.
I could see him staying up there. He deserves it. He's shown why that he's an NBA player.
Yeah.
And I think everybody missed out on this. If he's been sitting around for that long, kind of just waiting for the phone to ring, that's pretty awesome that Pelicans can kind of jump on that with a team that's not looking good right now.
Yeah. They might be in the Cooper flag this week.
They're also
for
in the
sure.
Cooper, yeah. And then that whole news about Zion, kind of the contract built to cut. Like that's what they kind of have for him. That's what I read. Contract built to cut for Zion, which is sad. It's sad.
Yeah. Anything else on
Nope.
ICUs? Well,
if we're gonna add one more player, I think I do have to shout out LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yes. I do want
Because
to talk about LaMelo a little
Killer.
bit. Killer.
He's been just having a year. I think he's literally top 3 or top 4 in scoring right now. He's averaging almost 7 assists as well. Just poor guys in Charlotte. That team is just terrible.
It's a bummer. I love Brandon Miller,
Yeah.
and then I love LaMelo Ball playing right next to him. He's proven a lot of people wrong, especially the old heads of the NBA.
Yeah.
Kind of just not the players, but like the people watching.
Yeah.
They watch him come up, and they're just like, I don't like this guy's game.
Yeah.
Well,
he's just dribbling around, shooting.
He's just the way he plays is, it's so unorthodox. It's not, your typical, NBA guy. It's like on some Devin Booker type of vibe where, jab, it's everything super clean and it's kind of just standard. He's so unorthodox,
Yeah,
you know.
he's got a long body, so
Yeah.
he's like just reaching everywhere with the ball.
He does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just playing with so much confidence
Yeah.
right now. You know, the way he shoots, he's barely jumping off the ground. Sometimes he's going with one leg.
Yeah, I feel like every night he's hitting a one-legged three.
Yeah.
And
Swung
his body
that,
to the side.
That falling away one was insane as well. Yeah.
There was an interview I just saw of him like after the game, and some reporter was asking him some in-depth question about, was that your game plan to like have them shoot all those threes because they're not a good shooting team like on the perimeter? And he's like, I mean, that wasn't really a game plan, but I guess whatever coach said.
Yeah, he's playing like he's back at Chino Hills, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's cool to see it.
it
Like
is.
it's just like
Yeah.
he grew up with us. Like
Yeah.
we watched him on our phone, just like look
Yeah.
at this little kid out
Yeah,
here
shooting from half
shooting
court.
from half
Yeah.
court.
Yeah. But what's really impressed me this year is he's hitting the three ball. He shoots a ton of them like he always has. And he's always been a good shooter, but this year he's hitting more than he ever has. But he's also getting to the rim, which
Yeah.
he was struggling with earlier in his career.
Yep.
You know, with the injuries and stuff, he wasn't too strong. But now he's super crafty around the rim. His floater game is elite. And the only guy he really passes to is Trey Mann and Brandon Miller. But those two guys get buckets,
They
but
still
no one
get
else
buckets.
on Charlotte's really doing anything.
Rightfully
I
so.
think they
Yeah.
have Taj Gibson at their center,
They're starting him.
which is insane.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't
poor
even
Charlotte.
realize he was still in the league until I saw the first game this year.
Yeah, insane.
No, yeah, it's I like the Charlotte team though. I hope they do good. I don't want to see LaMelo leave. I don't want to see him
Yeah,
kind of
he
go.
should stay
and-
there for.
I want him to stay
yeah.
and build. I want them to build around him
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
That would
him
be a
and
big
B
one.
Mills. Him and B Mills.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to the
moving on to
NBA
the
Cup.
NBA Cup
West Group A, Kings are officially out.
eliminated.
Timberwolves are also not looking too hot. They are 1-2. The Kings are 0-2. The Rockets have clinched the division. They are 3-0. Point differential of plus 55. So
Very surprised.
yeah, Amen Thompson and Tari Eason out there for Houston. Those were two of my guys I wanted to put on my ICU, but I had to give Elfrid Payton some love.
Yep.
But Houston is really good team.
Yeah.
We play Houston soon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Ime
for the-
Udoka is one of the best coaches in the league.
Yeah.
He has been since he's been in Boston, but all that weird stuff happened where he
Yeah.
had to leave. But he's proven that he's
He's a
still
coach.
getting this young team
He's a
to,
coach.
play hard. And a guy like Dylan Brooks is also playing very well.
Yep.
And he's kind of like that emotional support leader
Yep.
on that team. He'll like take all the hate.
That's insane. That
Yeah.
where Dylan Brooks is the
Yeah.
the leader of not the leader, but
The
spirit.
the spark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spark.
And he was
Yeah.
also that in Memphis.
He
And
was. Yeah, he
Memphis has
was.
looked worse since he's left. So I mean, I like
will say
Dylan Brooks
Ja's
in
been out.
Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Houston definitely has a really great team. They just have great pieces all together. Their bench is really deep, and like you said, just the coach is kind of the reason why they're doing so well,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
And Amen Thompson.
Amen Thompson.
Amen Thompson is
Ooh.
so good.
Yeah, I know he's coming up big for them. And then
Yeah.
Jabari
Jabari
Smith.
Smith, yeah.
Jabari Smith is also looking really good. I like this Houston team.
Yeah.
I'm buying into it.
Did you guys see what Fred VanVleet did the other day, where he pointed at the refs and he got fined?
Oh, yeah.
He got fined a lot of money. He
What did
pointed
he
in
do?
the.
He
got
was
teed
mad.
up and he
Yeah.
pointed and he got ejected and he points in every ref's face and calls him a bad word.
Damn.
Yeah, he got fined a lot of money for that.
Call them a meanie butt.
Yeah.
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 Did you see the De'Aaron do that to the ref the other day? He covered his eyes to the ref,
Oh, I
and the
didn't
ref
see
was just
that.
like, "Tech."
Oh, yeah.
you."
He's been getting teed up a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
I do too,
De'Aaron
yeah.
didn't play with that attitude when he was younger,
Yeah.
but now that he's in
He's
his
one of the only guys that's not soft on this team, and
Yeah.
a lot of people thought he was soft when they were, before they started winning. So, yeah.
Yep.
West Group B, though.
It's in the shoes.
Yeah, facts. Those shoes are fire.
Yep.
West Group B, Phoenix Suns are up top, leading with a 2-1 record, and the Spurs and the Lakers are also with a 2-1 record, just a worse point differential. So, a very close group. Out of those three teams, though, it could go any way. The
Yeah.
Thunder are also just 1-1, so we'll see what happens in that group.
I kind of want to roll with the Spurs.
Yeah, the Spurs look good.
Now that my Kings are eliminated,
Harrison Barnes, player
Harrison
of
Barnes,
the week.
Player of the week. That looks
Never happened in his career.
It's pretty sick.
It's crazy.
That's
It's pretty
crazy.
sick.
Well,
It makes
the
me
vets,
happy.
The vets over there are doing their thing, CP
Yeah.
and HB, looking good for the young guys.
Yeah.
Having Wemby there, I like that trio.
Yeah.
Like CP3 has the easiest lob of all time. He
Yeah.
said that the other day. He's like, this is the easiest lob I've ever
Yeah.
thrown in my life.
I mean, we're already putting a guy that has 12,000 assists with just a 7'4" freak. So it's like, yeah, give me some more assists before I end my career.
Yeah, and HB is a good complementary piece.
Yeah.
And he's one of those guys that's not going to swing the ball.
I want to
HB's
ask,
getting his shots up.
how long do you guys think HB is going to run like? Because in Sacramento, he would have these games. He would have these spurts like this.
He would.
But then he would go down to like 10 points.
I feel like
11
last
points a
year,
game.
last year he started the year in the first game. It was against
40
Utah.
points,
he had
I
like
think.
40 points. Yeah, he had like 27 in the first half, and we were like, "Is Harrison Barnes going to win MVP this year?" But then he would slow down and have games of 2 points, and 5 points, and then it's like we got to get rid of him.
I think that the thing about HB now is that his team is a lot younger, to where he can kind of maybe step it up when all these young guys are just maybe taking a bad shot, or just forcing something. Whereas, when he's on the Kings, he's got guys like De'Aaron, Malik, Sabonis that are really the ones that are going to have the ball. Out in San Antonio, the one really who's going to have the ball is Wemby, so they can really spread the wealth, and I feel like that's why HB has been doing so good.
That's a good point.
Yeah, no, I love seeing him going off.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Shout out to HB.
Shout out.
In West Group C, the Warriors, who I picked to win it all, are 3-0. So they look really good. Curry is out tonight, though. They're playing the Thunder. It is not an NBA Cup game, so won't count towards that record, but still a tough game without Steph going against OKC.
Did you guys say Buddy was not doing too hot?
Yeah,
or?
Buddy, he started the year crazy, averaging
yeah.
over 20 a game, shooting like 50% from three, and then the last 4 games, he's back to like 9 points a game and shooting like under 20% from three.
Again, he was one of those guys that
He's
was
super
here in
hot and cold.
Sacramento.
Yeah.
It's just hot and cold, hot and cold. Even though was like the 3-point leader here in Sacramento.
Yeah. But yeah, so hopefully without Steph, this team can, get back in a rhythm, like Buddy hit some more shots, be the number one guy on offense off the bench. But yeah, East Group A, the Orlando Magic and the New York Knicks are both 2-0.
Actually,
Besides that,
I'm going to take my Spurs buy-in back. I'm rolling with the Magic.
okay. Yeah.
Orlando Magic.
To win it all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well,
I mean, Franz has been looking insane.
Yeah. I thought that was going to be your man of the week was Franz, because he has been, he's like MVP caliber.
I think he's going to be my man of the week in the future because he's going to stay this hot.
Yeah.
I could,
especially without Banchero. And
he's going to come back soon, though.
Yeah. I mean, they've both been, doing really well. I mean, obviously, together, Banchero's the guy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're the Magic, you're loving what you're seeing, because when Banchero comes back, then Franz Wagner is your second.
They don't know I don't think people are going to know what to do when they're when they can't double Franz anymore. Yeah. Because they just started doing, I just saw that like 2 games ago. They're starting to double him.
He's averaging almost 30 without Paolo. And you know who he also has playing very well is his brother, Mo. Mo's been getting like 18 and 12 off the bench like almost every night. And you know what's crazy is they still live together.
I would do the same thing.
But Franz is getting like 100+ mil a year. Like, he has a bag.
I would if I played on the same team as my brother, I would live in the same house.
And they only have one car. They share a car.
Okay, that's insane.
That's insane, right?
You know what?
And they're like 6'10" and 7 foot tall.
Hey, they're both humble. I love to see that.
They really are. But yeah, they're both playing very well for Orlando.
That would be the dream setup, man. I would love to live with my brother playing basketball.
What brother? You have 3 of them.
I can't pick. They're
Okay.
probably listening.
Didn't want to put you on the spot. Well, East Group B, Milwaukee, who I picked to win it.
It's Ben. Ben was better than them.
So the Bucks are 3-0. Pistons are also 2-0. You picked the Pistons to win, so that'll be a fun group.
I guess I can't pick the Magic or the Pistons.
Yeah.
You did say Pistons versus Kings.
I said Pistons versus Kings.
So now it's Pistons versus Spurs.
I can't back off. Yeah, Pistons versus Spurs. That's my guess.
Yeah, but last night the Bucks barely beat the Miami Heat, and that was without Giannis. Dame Lillard had a huge night, especially in the first half. Hit 8 threes overall. But Terry Rozier, that was an exciting game. He clutched up in the fourth, brought him back, but just not enough for Miami. If I'm Miami, I'm a little worried about their start to the year. Jimmy's probably going to be gone. But
yeah, I feel like he was already kind of on the trade block a little bit at the beginning of the season because he's been there for how many years now? I think
since 2020.
Yeah.
So
4
or 5.
About time, I feel like, to move on from that.
Yeah.
Maybe trade him to the Kings.
Jimmy, our spacing is so bad. That would be horrible.
Give up Kevin Huerter and
We're gonna have no 3-point shooting.
Jimmy.
Jimmy can't. I mean, he can kind of shoot, but he's not.
shoot better
he
than Kevin
doesn't
right
shoot.
now.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He
Yeah.
could probably
doesn't
shoot
shoot
better
him.
than Kevin.
Yeah, last year Jimmy shot like 40% from 3, but he was taking 1 a game.
Oh,
So
damn.
that it doesn't matter. So yeah,
The thing with the Heat is, I mean, they kind of always start the year off
they do.
bad,
They do.
and then as long as Jimmy's
Not.
healthy, they'll make their way into the playoff contention, and maybe have another Cinderella run where they're
Yeah.
the 8th seed and go to the finals again. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the cup play though, they still have a positive point differential, but I mean that grouping turned out to be kind of what we thought it would be, with Milwaukee being 3-0 and starting
Yeah.
to win games.
Tyler called that. Like,
Yeah,
them
they needed
coming
to get back on track, and
Yep.
they're using the cup to do that. So good for Milwaukee. But the last group, East Group C, the Chicago Bulls are up top. Nobody would have predicted that. They are 2-1 with a 15-point differential. The Boston Celtics are in second place with a 14-point differential. Then it goes the Atlanta Hawks, who are 2-1. And then the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are 18-1 on the year, and their only loss has been in the NBA Cup to
game.
the Celtics. So
That's
they're in fourth place in that group. So
I'm kind of surprised that they're 17-1. I thought
Yeah.
they would have lost another game after that Celtics won.
yeah,
Because
they're really good.
They're a really good
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
It's just solid team basketball that is rare to see now. You don't
Yeah.
really see a lot of that. Last time I could remember was when Kawhi was on the Spurs with
Yeah.
Duncan and Manu and Tony Parker. It was just flawless team basketball.
Yeah.
And here it's just everybody's able to flow between Mobley, Jared Allen, Darius, and Donovan Mitchell.
They all play so
They
good
all
together
play
now.
so
Yeah,
good.
and-
And I think they're going to stay up there with 1 and 2. I think they're going to be 1 or 2 seed in the East Coast.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I mean, with the pace that they're on right now, I mean, they should be first seed, but
Yeah.
obviously they'll probably hit a little slump because I don't think they'll be able to
It happens.
keep up what they're doing.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely them in Boston for sure.
And
I mean,
Boston now has Porzingis back. We have
Porzingis
to
is
mention
back.
that.
Yeah.
They look insanely scary.
Yeah.
I don't see a team beating them this year. I just have to go out and say it.
Yeah.
I don't think Boston's going to lose. I'm rooting for them to lose though. I want someone to knock them off. But they are so
Be
good.
careful. We're going to lose our artists
I know,
if you
yeah,
talk too much crap.
Well, I'm saying they're going to win it also.
Yeah.
But they're just so good. And Peyton Pritchard off the bench, he's definitly the 6th man of the
Yeah.
year in my opinion right now.
well, it's crazy because they've lost 3 games already, and both. Well, I think all 3 of the games, maybe one of them I could be wrong, but they were all close games that they've lost.
Yeah.
But I mean, it happens. Like last year, they weren't a 70-win team or anything. They were the best team in the league, but I mean, yeah,
It's hard to get 70 wins now.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
with Porzingis back too, and as long as he stays healthy, yeah. I mean, I kind of do have to agree with you. I don't think there is anyone that can beat them. Hopefully, you get a better team in the West. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to beat them.
I think
They're
they're
like
going to run it back for sure. They're going to be
Yeah.
trying to go 2 for 2.
they shoot so many threes, but they make so many threes.
Yeah.
Like
Derek White.
Drew Holiday, Tatum, Brown started the game off hitting 5 threes the other day against Minnesota. Did you guys hear Minnesota's broadcasters?
Yeah, they were mad.
They were hating on Jaylen Brown. They were saying, like, he only shoots 3 for 25 from this spot, and now he wants to make it. And Jaylen Brown, I don't know if he heard it, but he hit 5 in a row to start the game.
Yeah.
And it was over after that. It was a close game, but, yeah, the Celtics are too good.
That's the
Celtics are too
announcer's curse right there.
good. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You can't
That's
say
why you can't be a
nothing like
hater
that.
as an
No,
announcer. Like,
you
that
can't
was
be a hater.
that was disrespectful. And Jaylen Brown even tweeted back at him saying, like, hating announcers.
Yeah.
So that was funny. But yeah, we gotta mention our main topic of the show, biggest surprises. We mentioned a few of them already, but
Yep.
I think we got to start out east. Biggest surprise out east is that the Philadelphia 76ers are 3-13.
I am shocked, actually.
Shocked.
Not shocked. I mean, yeah, I'm shocked.
No, it's
Because injuries
I didn't think
are
it could be
huge for
this
them.
bad. Even
Yeah.
if Embiid didn't play one game yet this year, I didn't think they could be 3-13.
I didn't think it would be this.
And Jared McCain is like the rookie of the year. You would
They
think
have a solid
yeah,
team.
you would think if Jared McCain's playing this good that they should be winning some games, but
3
he's the only
wins.
one doing anything.
3
Yeah,
wins.
I've seen a lot on social media saying that they should blow it up. They should get rid of Embiid because,
They just got PG though.
yeah, I mean,
It's horrible.
that's the problem. I never liked that PG acquisition. I
No?
think PG should have stayed in LA, but I don't know. I mean, if you're Paul George, you're looking at which team can get you a ring, and last season you thought, oh well, the Clippers don't look too good. I'm gonna go over here, and Philly paid them all this money, And if you look at Tobias Harris' stats and you look at Paul George's stats, they're almost identical. And everyone was hating on Tobias Harris in Philly.
Yeah.
Where's the hate for Paul George?
Yeah.
Like, I love Paul George. He's a great player. He's had a great career. But, I mean, you got to give him the same energy as Tobias Harris.
He's been out
a good
for a bit of the season.
Yeah.
He hyperextended his knee twice. So that's a big thing for him.
That is hard to come back from.
I'm still going to ride with them because
Yeah.
I said earlier this year that I think they're going to be up at the top. It's not even 20 games in the season yet. Not even 20.
Well, lucky for the Sixers, the East is honestly just so bad
Yeah.
that they could really come back.
There's plenty of season left for them to come back. And I do think they will be healthy, and I think they will be a good playoff team by the end of the year.
I hope so, because if not, it's going to be – those Philly fans are brutal.
Yeah.
Those Philly fans are brutal.
So people say it's the best sports city in the
It's
U.S.
known as the best or the worst. It could go either way.
In between.
No in between.
No in between.
Yeah. Another surprise team is Brooklyn out east. They're 8-10. They've also just been in a ton of close games. Played the Celtics really well a couple times. They've also played some other good teams really well. Beat the Kings, beat the Warriors back-to-back nights. So Brooklyn, Jordy Fernandez, shout out. But I do hope they get rid of some guys coming up soon.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's all gonna be for picks or if they're gonna trade Cam Thomas for a couple of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're gonna unload something because they don't really have a true identity.
They don't. Yeah.
There's a lot of just go out there and ball.
They're doing it though.
Yeah, they are doing it.
And they play good defense. They're
play good
feisty.
defense.
So.
Which I mean, they have probably. I think Jordy can be coach of the year
if they wanted to keep winning.
If they keep winning.
But this is
honestly,
one of the
why
only
not?
years.
Why not though?
Well, this is why, because this is one of the only years that they have their first round pick.
Yeah.
And now after this, all their first round picks are traded away. They traded them for KD, Harden, and Kyrie.
Yeah.
And this is the year they need a guy like Cooper Flagg. And this draft is supposed to be, one of the best ever. Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper going off.
Yeah.
All these guys.
I think they're gonna fall off for sure.
Yeah.
They just can't do it now. You can't go out there and not play at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
You can't be that team to just tank the whole year.
Yeah.
Unless you're Washington.
Unless you're Washington. I mean, I just think they're a bad team. Washington's just not a good team.
Yeah. Also, another not good team we've talked about is the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah.
That's another surprise. They are 4-14.
They have an excuse though.
Most injury riddled team definitely this year. Zion, CJ, DeJounte Murray,
Their whole
Ingram's been
starting
out.
lineup.
Everyone. Anyone you could think of on the team has been hurt. Even Jordan Hawkins, who was killing in the beginning of the year, and now he's hurt.
Pray for Alfred, man. Pray for Alfred.
Yeah, Alfred, get him some help.
A big surprise I wanted to bring up
Yeah.
was, we talked about it before, was the struggling Indiana Pacers.
Yeah.
And then also a struggling Tyrese Halliburton. He's only averaging 18 points per game.
Yeah. Big drop off.
Less than 10 assists, which is huge. You'd expect him to average 13 assists right now.
Yeah, last year he was top the league in the
Top the league and close. He was 23 points a game last year,
Yeah,
something like that.
Really good numbers.
Yep.
So this drop off is huge for Tyrese.
The argument for Tyrese over De'Aaron is officially dead. I hate that was ever an argument because De'Aaron in my head's always been way better.
Has always been a better player.
But yeah, now it's widely known that
Yes.
De'Aaron is leagues above.
Yes, for sure.
So that was a good trade for the Kings.
Good trade. Great trade.
Great
Yeah,
trade.
I mean,
Both teams though. Both teams. Great trade.
The Pacers will be. Tyrese will be there for the rest of his career.
They were in the conference finals last year, so that's huge.
I think he's going to be there for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
Not going to lie, and he's going to be their franchise player.
Yeah. Any other surprises you guys noticed? I mean, the Rockets are 13-6.
Rockets.
That's a big one.
I would shout out the Pistons.
Yeah, shout out.
They're having a good year
Cade.
so far.
So far.
But yeah, last year they were probably near where the Wizards were, so good for them.
They didn't even have a win, I think, at this point last
they
year.
They lost
Probably not.
28 games in a row last year.
Yeah, so
NBA record.
Good for the Pistons. They're looking really good on paper. They actually have really great players. So I really, I hope they can sneak into the play-in. But even if they get 30 plus wins, that's going to be a W for them.
That's a dub. That's that turnaround right there in 1 year.
Yeah,
that's what you want from a whole rebuilding franchise.
Because then you'll still get a good draft pick.
Yeah, true.
And then just run it back next year, and hope to get the play-in or maybe even playoffs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, close
All
us
right.
out, Luke.
So, Beam City Sports closing out here in Sacramento, California. Thank you for listening, guys. Appreciate you. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things.
Yep. Enjoy Thanksgiving.
Yep, we'll
Happy
be back next week.
Thanksgiving.